everyone. Happy Sunday and happy first day of spring. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Holly Hanley, and today, of course, we're painting. I thought I'd do a little demo on when life gives you a rainy day, play in the puddles. So it's just a fun little piece. We're going to paint the little duck and the tulip, and I'll give you some other tips on how to paint the little frogs and things like that. So please comment. I have a couple little prizes to give away. So if you comment in the comment box, I'm going to go through later and I'm going to pick some winners. I have some great products. There's instant brushes, and today we're actually using a lot of I have some of the lunar blenders. Okay, so I'm going to be using those today. I've also got a few other little brushes here. Hi. Oh, hi, Debbie. That's wonderful. Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my first YouTube live, so I was pretty excited. It's been a little while since I've been with you. So, and I've got my little puppy in the studio, little Jagger. He's gonna be joining us as well. So very excited. Happy first day of spring. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm glad you all found me. Wonderful. Okay, so we're painting. This is actually an epacket. I have it on my website. Okay, so my website is just hollyhanley.ca, and this is an epacket. It just tells you if you're not sure what an epacket is, it's basically an electronic packet. So you download it and you can print it out instantly, and it has pictures. It has all the supplies that I use and all the instructions. So like detailed instructions. So, oh, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Mary. Hi, Donna. Hi, Linda. Deanna. Oh, wonderful. That's great. Make sure you comment lots. I'll be picking some prizes, or I usually get my kids to pick a couple prizes, and I'll contact you and send them out. So it'll be lots of fun. Okay, so this is actually, it's a double packet. So sometimes I like to squeeze two patterns in one packet. So this one actually has my porch sitter. I don't know if you have seen this before, but so it has, of course, the little duck, this one, and then it has my big porch sitter. So I'm into doing a lot of porch sitters. This is a really big one. You can see how big it is, but it's a nice 4-foot size, and it has the instructions for this cute little bunny in there as well. So hi, how's the weather? That's hi Debbie. That's wonderful. Hi, Chris from Northern California. Wonderful. Love it. Today is actually, it's a really rainy, kind of gloomy day, but it's the first day of spring, so I can't complain. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful. The kids were outside playing on the driveway, and hi, Sue from Oakville. That's wonderful. Hi from Tulsa. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for joining me. I love hearing from where you're all from. Hi, Marilyn. Okay, so we're actually going to get started with a couple of the brushes, Kate. So these are, if you haven't used these before, I think I have a short little lunar blender video on my YouTube channel as well, but these are the lunar blenders, and they're made by Princeton, and I absolutely love them. I use them for all my projects. Doesn't matter what I paint, I always use them. They give you a really nice whimsical feel, so they're one of my favorites. It's shaped like a filbert, so it has a rounded tip, and it just has a soft hair mixed with a bristle hair. So you can get a really nice springy little stroke. Okay, and like I said before, we're going to start with a little bit of white. Okay, so if you want to get that out, and all the products that I'm using today are Americana acrylics, and I've got some other fun little products like you can use the Galaxy glitters to add a little bit of glitter to your project. So, hi Teresa, hi Deanna, hi Linda. I'm so glad you all made it. As you can see, I've been busy changing my studio. I've got all my spring projects out, so lots of things like birdhouses and and bunnies and gnomes, and I actually have some new projects coming soon, so you can look forward to those. And I'm going to schedule another YouTube or Facebook Live. So One little thing I wanted to tell you is that behind me is my little koala. I'm teaching that soon, so there's still a little bit of time to sign up, not too much prep. And you can sign up on my website. It's hollyhanley.ca. And I also have one more little project. Oh, I'm so glad. This is my little project. I'm doing it on at a retreat. Okay. This one, it's called Diets Are Hard because they are. And it says today I ate a cupcake without sprinkles. So I thought that was cute. But I'm going to be teaching this one, and I'll have details on my Facebook page too. So, okay, now let's get started. Hi, Kay. Oh, I bet you it's nice and warm there. It's only, I think, 1 degree here today, so Celsius. So it's a little chilly, but I'll take it. It's on the plus side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around, so please bear with me because I'm totally not fancy in my studio here. I'm just going to turn it here. So close your eyes, and I'm going to try and keep up with your comments. So if you have any questions, please feel free to like write them in. And a lot of people I noticed just watch the video too and comment and ask me questions, and then they paint it later. But the video will stay up on my YouTube channel basically forever. So you can watch it as many times as you want. So I'm going to try and help you along with that. So here we go. Okay. So I'm going to try and get this all in here so that there's no shadow. See my coffee here. Okay. So here's our cute little ducky. And I see that it's backwards. Uh-oh. Okay. Now, is it showing up backwards for everyone? Uh-oh. Okay, let me see if I can try and fix this here real quick. Okay. Now, is it showing up? Oh, it's fine? Okay. Is it okay? Okay, so it's not showing up backwards? Okay, perfect. I'm so glad. Thanks, Becky. Okay, it seems to be backwards on my computer. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a little bit of white. Again, I'm using the DecoArt Americana, and I actually have an affiliate link. So I'm going to put that in the chat later on. So if you do need any supplies from DecoArt, you can actually use my link, and it helps me out a little bit. So, but I absolutely love all the Americana DecoArt products. They're wonderful, nice and vibrant. And as you can see, I just base coated this with black. Okay, so nothing fancy. I gave it a coat, sanded lightly, and then basically gave it a second coat of black, let it dry, and trace the pattern on. I absolutely love painting with a dark background to give it some nice contrast with those bright colors on top. This is, it's really, I absolutely love contrast. I love fun, bright colors. So DecoArt makes all these wonderful colors that I'm going to be using today. Okay, so I'm just using a little bit of white here. And we're going to do just a little bit of base coating because, again, some of the colors are a little bit transparent. So it helps to put a little bit of a base on. Okay, so I'm just using that 1/4-inch lunar blender. Okay, we can wet the brush first. Tap off that excess water, okay, like this. So this is actually, I splurged and I grabbed a couple new brushes. Love new brushes, don't you? They're all sparkly and nice and clean. Okay, so basically I wet the brush first, and I know it's a little weird just because I call it kind of a dry brush, but it's actually sort of a wet dry brush. So I wet the brush first just to soften up the little bristles a little bit. Okay, so wet it, tap off the excess water. Okay, and then I make sure that you get rid of all that water, and then you're going to take a little bit of white and just blend back and forth. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the ducks, okay, like that, or the little duck, and we're just going to slip slap every which way. So you can see right in here, I'll see if I can get a little closer for you. Hopefully it's okay. I'm going to try and fix this here. Okay, so you can see I'm doing kind of like a really light I little stroke like this. It's very wispy. Don't think too much like this. And I'm going to pull that brush right towards that outside edge. So that duck is going to be so fluffy. Okay, so whenever I hold my brush, I hold it right on the ferrule, okay, so the metal part of the brush, and I'm going to rest my hand as much as I can, so I have lots of control over my brush, okay, and again, don't overthink it, just every which way, everyone has their own technique when they do this. They all turn out unique, which is wonderful. I love it. I love to see when you post your pieces as well. So please tag me. You can tag me on Facebook or Instagram. It's Holly Hanley Artist. So I love to see your work and when people change things and get creative. I love that too. So again, don't worry too much. This is just a base, nothing too fancy. Just every which way, kind of doing like little strokes. There's sort of like a little curved stroke is what I do. Um, like that. And I'm going to give him a little bit of a swirl for his little cute little tail there. Okay. And then of course, so this brush, okay, of course, we've got like the wide part of the brush, okay, the flat of the brush. And if I turn it on its side, you'll actually have that chisel, okay? So I'm going to use the chisel and I'm going to paint in those cute little wings. Like I love that, little characters that make me smile. So this guy I just thought it would be so cute if he was playing in a puddle like this. Okay, right in here. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. So you can see I left a little bit of space in between just to kind of create a little separation, but we're going to add some orange in there after to help do that as well. Okay, so there's this cute little duck. This is just the base. Don't worry too much, okay? And then we're also going to do his cute little head here. So again, just pulling upwards like this. Okay, you can go right over top of that little water droplet. Okay, like that. And I just love when the paint skips a little bit. So you can see I don't have any paint. Yes, he's coming to life already. Coming to life already. Okay, so I don't have any water in my brush really. That's kind of the key. It's pretty dry. Just taking the paint, and I usually blend a little bit just to get rid of all the excess paint, like this. Okay, I'm gonna go over his little cheeks there, and I usually try and keep the eyes in there because I like it when those little eyes are in there right away. So we have something to smile back at us here. Okay, so every which way, just pulling. So hopefully you can see everything okay. Okay, so right in here. And sometimes I get stumped a little bit on what to paint. So if you have some ideas of what you would like to see me paint, I would love to hear from you. So please comment. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go around his cute little beak there. Okay. Right in here, every which way, giving him a nice little coat like so. And this will just make that yellow. We're going to use cad yellow, which is a little bit transparent. And now it'll just pop. So it's going to be so great. Okay. So I've got that cute little duck in there. I'm also going to base coat his little beak and his feet with white as well. Okay, so I'm just kind of touching up here a little bit where it was really transparent. Okay, just every which way, making them nice and fluffy. Don't think too much. It's great for a Sunday afternoon. Okay. I know everyone was getting a little confused along with myself on what time it was going to be at to get used to all those time changes. In Saskatchewan here, where I'm from, we don't ever change time. We stay the same time all year long. So I don't ever have to worry about that. All right, so here's our cute little duck. Okay, Hopefully you can see that okay. You can see all the little brush strokes. Okay, it just adds to all that texture. Looks great. Okay, I wish I could see. You're gonna have to post your little ducks after. Okay, right in here. Okay, actually, Kay, the cupcake bear pattern won't be available till after class, so probably sometime in June I'll have it. But definitely, this is with the White Mountain Decorative Painters. They're having a retreat on May 18th to the 22nd, and it has there's so many great projects, so you'll have to check it out. Okay, so I'm gonna just actually base coat this little guy's beak as well. So this is just with white, okay, nothing too fancy. I'm just gonna, if you want to use a flat brush or something else, you definitely can, okay, but it's just to give it one little coat, like so. So there's his little beak, okay, and this, again, it's just so that that orange shows up. Again, it's pretty transparent, that orange color, so, okay, right in here. I'm just gonna switch to my round brush and I'm gonna paint in that little bottom part of the beak. I love the smiling, happy. Aren't they cute? Okay, everything I paint, I think, has to have a smile like this. Okay, so there's his little tongue and the bottom part of the beak like this. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you find this helpful on how I paint my little guys here. Okay, so, all right. And then I'm also going to paint his little legs right in here. Okay, I'm gonna give this a really quick coat of white. And you can see I'm even just, it doesn't have to be perfect. And a lot of times with that black, I try and leave it in between the sections just to give it a little bit more separation and some shadow. I'm a big fan of that dark color, that contrast. Okay, so right in here, there's his little foot. You can see I left a few. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm happy my designs make people smile. That's the best. Okay, so right in here, I'm using my chisel of my brush, or you can even use that little 1/8" lunar blender. Okay, so right in here, just doing quick little dashes like this, just to give it a little bit of color. And you'll notice nothing I paint is very perfect. I call it whimsical. So the lines aren't exactly straight and it doesn't cover exact, but they seem to all come together in the end. So don't worry. I think people overthink things too much and they stress out. But they go through that, I call it the ugly stage. There's sort of an ugly stage and then it just gets better and better. So with the more details that you add. Okay, so don't worry. All right. So there's our little ducky. He's got his first coat on there. It dries pretty quick because I didn't use a whole bunch of paint like that. Okay, I'm gonna give one more little dash to his cheeks just to make them extra bright. Okay, like this. And I thought we'd do just a little bit more. We'll let this dry really well. Okay, like that. Oh, thanks, Linda. Fairies or angels? Oh, that would be nice. Great idea, Debbie. I love it. Okay, I saw the spring garland on your cabinet. Naomi's writing. New pattern with some garlands for home decor would be fun. Okay, that sounds good. I love getting ideas from people. Okay, keep coming. I do have a plan. I know I've been telling people for the last year, I think, that I was going to design some little garden stones for garden markers. So that's actually next on my list. So coming hopefully soon. Okay, so now that we've got the white out, I thought we'd do the tulip as well. I want to show you how fun it is to do the tulips. This is, again, my take on doing a whimsical tulip. And every artist does them differently. And I always tell people it's really nice to take classes from lots of different people because you learn so much. Okay, so basically, and no one, everyone has their own technique. It's wonderful. Okay, so I'm just taking my white paint and I'm blending back and forth, and that just evenly distributes the paint on the brush, as well as it gets rid of the excess paint. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that like this, and I'm going to base coat that tulip like that, and you can see I'm allowing it to skip. And a lot of times I don't paint over the graphite lines too much, or I try and leave a little tiny bit of separation in between the sections. Okay, so you can see, especially on this one, I have that dark separation in between those tulip petals that really makes it pop. I think it really adds like a little bit more depth and shadow. So I love it. I always do that. Okay, so or I try to. Okay, so basically I'm just taking that white. This is our base for the tulip. Again, it's really going to make that nice pink color pop on the tulip. Okay, like this, right in here. Okay, so I'm just kind of pendulum back and forth with my brush like that. So the color is a little bit stronger actually in the center. Okay, so there's a little bit of shadow like that. Okay, isn't it taking on a nice little shape already? Right in here, and then I'm gonna add this petal right there, and I love pink, but you can make your tulip any color that you want. So, um, I'm such a big fan of pink, so I made my tulip pink, but if you wanna make it, yellow, that's really pretty too. Purple would be nice because 'cause you'd have a little bit of contrast with the duck, because the duck is yellow, of course, so maybe a purple or a blue or something like that would be nice. Okay, so I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of color in between the frog. I think I missed a couple lines here, but okay, and then we have this little flip. Okay, so see how I'm just kind of pulling the brush down like this? Ah, so much fun. I love painting and doing it like this with those lunar blenders. Oh, that sounds fun. Beth painted a bunny and a cow this week. Very cool. I'd love to see those. I'll have to check them out. Okay, so I'm just going back and forth like so. Okay, just kind of making it a little bit brighter. Okay, so any of those really light colors, usually what I do is I put on that kind of base of white so that they really pop, but you can see I left a little bit of shadow underneath that flip. Okay, like so. All right. Love the way the paint skips. Okay, you can even put a little bit under that life lettering, but we can do that later. Okay, so here we go. Now we've got that in there. We're going to come back to the duck as soon as you've got that put in. Okay, again, just kind of going back and forth like this with the white. I just pendulum back and forth so that I have a nice little shadow underneath that little flip on the petal. Okay, so right in here, like that. Okay, rinse out your brush when you're done. Okay, like so. And then I just set it down flat and pull towards myself, and that'll pull the paint out of the bristles as well a little bit. Okay, how's everybody doing? Yes, yes, the lunar blenders can really hold a lot of paint. So, and lots of fun to kind of give that whimsical dry brush. All right, so for our little duck, we're going to use the cad yellow. Such a nice bright color. We're going to use this, and then we've got a little bit of bright orange. Okay, so those two colors are next. Those are just decor colors. One is bright orange, and then we've got cad yellow, and we're still going to use a little bit of white as well. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put a little bit of this on my palette. Really nice and bright. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got that nice yellow. We're just going to start with that. Make sure that your base is nice and dry. So if you know if you need to, you can always use a blow dryer to help speed that up a little bit. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip slap. Okay. We're going to use this more as, it's not quite a dry brush really. We're just kind of doing a whimsical stroke. I do get rid of all the excess water in my brush. I'm going to take a little bit of that yellow, such a beautiful color. Okay, and we're going to slip slap some of that yellow in there. Okay, so nothing too fancy. And he's just going to come to life. It's going to be fun watching him with this color. Goes from black and white into nice vibrant color. Love the contrast, the yellow and the black background. Right in here, again, you can see I hold my brush on the ferrule there. Okay, and if you don't have the CAD yellow, you could use primary yellow. That's a really nice yellow too. Okay, whatever you have that's close would be just fine. Okay, so just a really nice vibrant yellow, like so. Okay, and I'm actually using, you know, a little bit of paint on my brush. This isn't like a typical dry brush or anything. I'm filling in a little bit like that. And the edges, I'm just going to bring them outwards like so. Okay. And then of course on the little wings. Okay, so right over top the wings, I'm going to pull that color. Love these. When I was a kid, we used to go to the farm and play with all the little chicks, the baby chicks. I mean, they weren't ducks, but little chickens. And it was so much fun. They're so darn cute. Okay, so right in here, we're going to add some on his little head there, like so. Okay, I'm going to go around that beak as well. Okay, like this. Okay, pull up, and again, see how I'm resting my hand on my pinky, so I have lots of control. And hopefully this is showing up okay with all of those little strokes. Okay, like this. Right in here, and you can always touch up the eyes a little later, or if you did go over them, no problem. You can touch them up or paint them on after with some black. Okay, so right in here, just even with the yellow, it just looks so darn cute. So we're gonna make it even better by adding a little bit of shading, okay, with some orange and a little bit of highlighting. But there's not too much to this little duck, so it's a nice, fun little project. Right in here. Okay, like so. Okay. All right, so I've got that yellow in there. And it covered actually pretty well. So now just while I have those other colors on my palette. Okay, so oh, thanks, Gail. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of that orange. Okay, I'm not gonna rinse my brush. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of orange and I'm gonna pull a little bit of color. So just again, I'm gonna slip slap, and this is gonna be under the wing. So a little bit of that orange under the wing there. It's gonna add a nice little shadow. Okay, I'm even gonna pick up a little bit more of the yellow just to kind of help blend it in there. Okay, so this is going to give us our nice little shadow right underneath that wing right there. Maybe a little bit on the other side too on this wing. Okay, will look really cute. Okay, and wherever you want. So if you want to add a little bit kind of along the bottom, you know, feel free to add wherever you like. Okay, so it's just a tiny little bit of orange, just to add a little bit of shading underneath that wing right here. Okay, like so. Doesn't have to be exact, just adding a little bit of color. Okay, like this. And then I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm going to add such a funny little duck. Okay, and then I'm going to take my yellow and a little bit of white. Okay, blend back and forth like so. Okay, so this is just yellow and white. So you get a really nice bright highlight color. If you don't want to mix, you could even use Sunny Day. I love this decor color. It's such a pretty one. Okay, and I'm just going to slip slap a nice little highlight. So just, again, when you do those little strokes, okay, they're just, kind of a wispy little rounded stroke. So it looks nice and fluffy. Okay, so I'm going to put some on his little chest there, like this. You can even bring a few towards the outside edge. Okay, and maybe over top of where the wing, that back wing, a little bit, just to push it back a little. Okay, so just have fun. Don't think too much and just put in a few little wispy strokes to highlight, like so, right in here. Okay, so we're just going, and again, I'm just using the chisel of my brush, just adding a few little highlights on that wing, just to really, you can see it really pops out when you add that nice little highlight. Okay, bring him to life. Okay, and a few little wispy strokes maybe on his little tail feathers there. Make him look really nice and fluffy. Okay, you can even use your little 1/8" lunar blender if you're having trouble kind of getting that bigger brush in there. So like this. And then right in the middle of his little forehead, I'm going to give him a nice little highlight here. Okay, like so. Right in there. Okay, so yes, you can totally watch the entire video later. I'll have it on my YouTube channel. It'll stay on here, and you can watch it as many times as you like. So thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so we're just working on this cute little duck. I'm using the cad yellow and a little bit of white, and I'm adding that nice little highlight. Okay, again, this is with that Lunar Blender, my favorite brush. If you've ever painted with me before, I love it. It's a Princeton Select series, and they come in 4 or 5 different sizes. So really nice for lots of different projects. I use it for my little bears that are dry brushed. I use it for my Italian scenes for dry brushing. So I love it. Okay, so you can see I added a little extra white, nice and light. So just sort of pulling that little stroke here and there. Okay, and we're gonna add the cutest little cheeks on this guy. Really, I love rosy cheeks. I think they just look so darn cute. Okay, so there's this little highlight every which way. Okay, and you can just play. So add as much as you want. I'm gonna come back and just add a few more little fluffy little strokes with more weight. Okay, so just a couple little strokes here and there, but you can see all the little highlights and fluffy little marks there. Okay, like so. Okay. Again, if you paint this little duck, make sure that you tag me if you post it on Facebook or Instagram. I love to see the projects. It's just at Holly Hanley Artist. Okay, right in here. All right, so there's our cute little duck. Got his fur in there, or his feathers, sorry. Okay, I'm used to painting those little bears. And then once we're done that, we're just gonna pop in those wings with a little bit more white to really make them pop out. Okay, so I'm using mostly white. Okay, maybe a little bit on his little tail feather there because I love it when they're a little very fluffy. You know how they wiggle their tail feathers there. Okay, and then we're going to let this dry for a minute. So we're gonna base coat the little beak and the feet. Okay, so thank you so much, Betty. Okay, so basically just I added, we remember we base coated with white first, and then we did with the cad yellow, a nice little base, and then we added a little bit of the bright orange. Love this color, it's so nice and vibrant. And then we rinsed our brush and highlighted with the cad yellow and white. Okay, so so darn cute. All right, wouldn't this guy look cute on even like a pair of pants for a little one? Using the decor, it has like fabric paints, would be so cute. Okay, so we're gonna base coat his feet and his beak. Okay, and we're gonna start with a little bit of canyon orange. Okay, so whenever I base coat things, I like to actually base coat with the darker color, okay, and then I add highlights on top. So each color gets a little bit brighter, okay? So the canyon orange is a little bit darker than the bright orange, okay? If you don't have that, you could even use burnt orange, something like that. But I did base coat because that orange is a little bit, it's a little bit transparent. So I like to put a little white underneath. So, and you can see I left that little bit of separation in between the sections. Okay, so it just adds a little depth and some shadow. Okay, and I'm using that canyon orange. Okay, and you can see how it really pops. And I'm going across with little horizontal strokes instead of vertically so that it has a bit more texture. Okay, so hopefully you can see that okay. So see how I'm doing like little horizontal strokes on each one there. I'm going to call them little toes. Okay, but and then the little webbing in between his feet. And even if you go over top of the black, it still leaves a little bit of a shadow. Okay, so right in here, like this. Okay, same thing on the other little foot. Right in here, like so. Okay, so just giving it a quick little coat with the canyon orange. You can see my little strokes. They're not perfect. I am not a perfect painter. I call it whimsical because I do it kind of quick and loose and, don't think too much. Okay, and then of course we've got his cute little beak. So you can base coat that in right in here. And he's happy and smiling. So very happy like this. Okay, and I'm going to switch to my little round brush just to add a little bit of color right on the bottom of the beak here. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure that you comment where you're from. I love to see where everybody's from. Okay, I'm from Canada, Saskatchewan, Canada. So it's a little chilly here today, but spring is on the way, so that's nice. It was a beautiful day here yesterday. So nice and sunny. All right, so I've got my beak and my feet base coated like that. You can see, not real perfect, but once we add those little highlights, they'll all come together. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry for just a second. And you can take a little bit of black. Well, that's actually let's do our cheeks. Okay, so this is one of my favorite I have a lot of favorite colors, but I love this for cheeks. It's watermelon slice, and it's such a pretty color. It's nice and it's just such a warm, perfect color for cheeks. I love it. Okay, so we're just gonna take, and you can either use a stippler brush. Okay, so this is called a stippler. It's shaped like a deer foot. So it sort of has a toe and a heel. Okay, it's on a bit of an angle, and it has, I use it for stippled bears, all kinds of things like trees and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, but you can use that for his little cheeks. Okay, so right in here. Or you can use even, and it's just a dry brush, or you can use a scumbler brush, and this is just a bristle. So you can actually use this dry, so don't add any water to it. You're just gonna take a little bit of paint, okay? And we're gonna dry brush those cute little cheeks on there. Okay, so again, I went over the duck with white first. We did cad yellow, just slip slaps every which way. We added a little bit of bright orange to add a little bit of shadowing just underneath that wing to pop it out, maybe a little bit the bottom here, okay, and on this wing. And then I highlighted with lots of little slip slaps of that cad yellow and white, okay, and especially on his cute little head here, okay? So, and then we're going to add the cheeks. So basically, yes, I'm so glad they didn't discontinue watermelon slice. It's such a fun rosy color. Okay, so we're gonna take a little tiny bit of color. You can see I grabbed the smallest little dash, okay? And you're gonna put it on your palette paper. So I didn't wet the brush first. I just used a little bit of color, and you can see it looks like a powder on my paper towel, and that's what I'm gonna use. So right in here, I'm just going to, and I took off too much. Let's try that again. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of color to my brush, trying not to get rid of all of it on my paper towel, and I do it in a circular motion, and I absolutely love rosy cheeks, so I always go overboard with that color. But I love it. It makes me happy. So do what makes you happy. If you like lighter colored cheeks, don't put on so much. Okay. If you love it like I do, just keep adding until you get it the way that you like it. Okay. Oh, okay. So cute. Right in here. Like this. Okay. So just little circular motions right in here. Oh, don't you love it? Okay. Love it, love it. Okay. You got to smile at them when you're painting them. Bring them to life. Okay, so there's our cute little, very rosy cheeks, but it's fun. Okay, so we've got those little rosy cheeks in there, like this. And then I'm gonna touch up her little eyes there. Okay, so just take a little touch of black and you can touch up the eyes. Yes, it's such a great color, the watermelon slice. It's $3.24 and it's a Decor Americana. All right, so I'm just gonna take a teeny tiny little brush and a little liner brush, okay? So just with a little bit of black, okay? And I'm just gonna touch up those little eyes, okay? I did leave them sort of open, so I don't have to transfer pattern. I'm just gonna use the black right in here. So darn cute. And of course, our duck needs some eyelashes. Okay, you don't actually have to add eyelashes, but okay, I'm gonna add a couple little dashes right on the corner of the eye there, and then the corner of this little eye. And if you kind of round the bottom of the eyes like this, it makes them, here, I'll use a bigger brush, but if you kind of round the bottom of the eye instead of having it totally flat, it'll look extra happy. So when you smile, it's just going to change that little bit of a shape there. So we've got a couple little eyelashes, and then you're going to pull some little eyelashes right from the center upwards like this and just lift so that this nice little end. Okay. And the thing with eyelashes is that you want them to be really nice and full at the where they start, and then of course have the little separations. Whereas sometimes I find sometimes what happens is you make them a little bit too thin, like this. Whoops. Okay, right in here. and you leave a lot of space in between. So like that, where they're not full. So I find that it looks a little bit better when you have them a little bit more full at the bottom. Okay, so that's kind of what I do. Okay, and these ones are angled inwards, so like that, in towards the other little eye. Okay, and then this guy is pulled, angling them towards this, like that. All right, so there's our cute little eyelashes. So darn cute. Okay, and then we're gonna add some that little smile line. Okay, right in here. Make him look extra happy. Okay, so he's got those cute little dimples on the sides of his mouth there. So if you need to add that in. Okay, there's our cute little duck. Right in here. Like so. Okay, and then we're going to add, of course, they need a little white dot in the eyes. Okay, so this is what really brings them to life. It's funny how that one little dot just makes it come to life. One little sparkle dot. I just use my liner brush, okay, to do that. You can even put a little tiny dash underneath the middle of the eye, and then two little dashes on the cheeks, just to really make him look kind of sparkly and happy. Okay, so, and then we're gonna add a couple little highlights on that beak and the feet. Okay, so we did those little cute little cheeks. Okay, right in here. Those were just with the watermelon slice. Great color. And then we fixed up the eyes and added those cute little eyelashes. This is all with black, and I'm using a 10 or actually a 3-0 liner. So whatever you have that you like to use, definitely go ahead. So whatever liner that you have. And then I just sort of added the little corners of his mouth to add that cute little smile. Okay, and then we're going to add some highlights on that cute little beak. Okay, so those are going to be with bright orange and cad yellow. Okay, so, and I know sometimes I go a little bit fast, but you can definitely come back and watch the video as many times as you want. You can pause it. Okay, I'm just gonna take my it's the little 1/8" lunar blender. Again, it's that Princeton lunar blender, love it. Okay, wet the brush first. Okay, especially if your brushes are brand new, they come with a sizing or glue in them, which makes them really hard. Okay, and it just protects them from shipping. So rinse them out in the water and then tap them off. Okay, so get all that sizing out of there. Okay, tap off your brush, and we're going to take that nice bright orange, okay, and a little bit of cad yellow like this, and we're going to do little dashes in the center of his beak. Okay, so right in here, it's just a little bit brighter than the base coat. Okay, so I never really do any floating on my pieces. I base coat with the shadow color, and then I get brighter and brighter. So each color that I do covers a little bit less area. So gives it a nice little highlight. Okay, and then we're going to start at the top of that little beak and come down like so. Okay, so this is bright orange and cad yellow. I got rid of all the water in my brush. Okay, blend back and forth just to get rid of the excess paint and evenly distribute it on your brush. And you're going to come around the bottom here of his little mouth. Okay, and then we're also going to do those little feet. Okay, so right in here, we're going to do little dashes. Okay, and they're all, not sure if you can see that, it's so small, but so you can do little dashes like this on his feet just to give it that really nice little bit of texture. Okay, so you see I kind of got them rounded a little bit, those little strokes. Okay, right in here, like so. And then we've got a little bit of texture on those cute little legs there. Okay, so maybe just a little bit in the center, the webbed part, webbed area. Okay, but there are lots of little strokes right in here. Okay. Yes, I don't do a lot of floating anymore. I love the dry brushing. I love using the background colors and the base for shadow, and then I just build up the highlights. So it's all about the highlights right in here. Okay, like so. Just doing little dashes. Okay. Again, these are little vertical strokes, kind of the opposite way that the line is going. Okay, so right in here. So much fun. Okay, right in there, like this. Okay, doing lots of little dashes. Okay, and then because that was so much fun, we're gonna do it all again, just with a lighter color. Okay, so you can see they really are starting to come to life. So this is, we base coated them with the Canyon orange, and now we're highlighting with bright orange and cad yellow. Okay, so just a mix of color. Those two colors together. Okay, like this. Right here. Okay, so this is for the beak and the feet, like so. And then I'm going to do it all again. This time I'm just going to use cad yellow. Okay, so right in here, I'm not going to rinse my brush. I'm just going to use the cad yellow right here, like so. Blend back and forth. Okay, and then do little dashes again. Okay, and look at how it just pops. And the cad yellow is pretty transparent, so you can really see some of that, like the orange popping through. So looks so darn cute right in here, like this. Okay. Okay, so little dashes. Again, it's not perfect, but they all kind of come together. It gets better and better with each color. Okay, remember they go through those sort of ugly stages and then they keep getting better and better with each color. Okay, so right in here, just adding that on the beak. So right at the top, right in here, just kind of pendulum back and forth, gives them a nice little highlight right in the middle. Okay, like that. Okay, and around the bottom part of that little beak there. Okay, so I'm just gonna touch up this one little spot here, showing. Okay, and then one last time with mostly cad yellow and white. So you can see all the colors or the layers, and I think with each layer of color, it just gets better and better. Okay, so right in here, I'm just gonna add a little bit more of that yellow, like this. Okay, hopefully all these little details are showing up okay. Okay, and then we're gonna use the cad yellow and the white. Okay, it's a really nice soft yellow, so pretty. Okay, right in here. So right at the top of his beak, you always start where the brightest color would be. And then as you work away from that, you lose the color off your brush. So you get a nice gradual transition from light to dark. Okay, so right in here. Right around the bottom, like this. Kind of bring out his the bottom part of the beak and then little dashes. So each one gets a little smaller. So now I'm just doing a tiny little dash right down the center, okay, of his little feet, like so. Okay, right in here, like this. Okay, So this e-packet will be available for a long time. It'll stay on my website. Okay, like so. And this will stay on my YouTube channel. So you can watch it whenever you like. Okay, so this is just with that cad yellow and white. Okay, so each little color adds lots of texture and dimension. Okay, so there's his cute little feet there, like that. Got that little webbing in the middle. I'm just adding one little highlight there. Okay. Every time I do these, they always have their own little personalities. Pretty cute. Okay, so and then you can always go back and touch up any little spots that you want, like so. Okay, and then his little tongue. Oh, maybe I'll just add one more little highlight with white. Okay, just right at the top of his little beak there. Just pop it right out, like that. Okay, and then maybe just one little sparkle dash right down those little feet there. Okay, so just sort of almost dabbing it on so there's a teeny tiny little sparkle line. Okay, right down here, like so. Okay, and then of course, can add even a few little dashes on his little cheeks. Okay, so cute. All right, like this. And then his tongue is just with some watermelon slice. So just use your liner brush again with a little bit of that watermelon slice, like so. You can paint in that tiny little tongue right in here. Okay, and a little bit of white. So right in here, like so. Okay, so right in here, we've got that little highlights on his feet there. Okay. And then if you want, you can go back with a little bit, like if you need to, you can always come back with a little bit more orange, like this. Okay, and just add on the sides there. Okay, so there's our little duck. Okay, and of course, he needs that little water droplet. So let's put that on. Okay, it's just with, we can use a little bit of blue. So right in here, we're going to take a little bit of that true blue. So let's add that cute little water drop. He's got lots of water around his feet as well. Okay, right in here. And we're going to use the white along with that blue. Okay, love it. Love this blue. It's so nice and vibrant. This is the Decor True Blue. Okay, one of my favorites. And if you wanted to save this to the end, you definitely could, but I can't help myself. So I'm just going to put this in. We're going to take that blue and a little bit of white, and you can paint that cute little water droplet in on his nose. Okay, I'm just using a round brush to paint that in. Okay, so this is blue, a little bit of white. Okay, nice little full little water droplet, like so, right on his nose there. Okay, like that. You can even add some, if you want, just right around his little feet. Why not? While we're okay, so little comma strokes, basically press on your round brush and pull in and you get a nice little comma. Okay, again, doesn't have to be perfect. So you can add a few little droplets sort of here and there. Okay, like this. You can add some on the bottom of his foot, just sort of dripping off. like this. Okay, right in here. Got a few more little droplets. Can add as many as you like. Okay, right in here, like that. And I mean, if you want to, you can even put in a little bit of that water right now just to take your lunar blender with a little bit of white and just sort of kind of scribble in a little bit of water. You can always put the grass in after, so, which is good. Okay, I call it scribbling because, don't think too much. You can skip a little bit, just using that 1/4" lunar blender, adding a little bit of that blue, nice blue puddle here at the bottom. Okay, and then you can pull some little grass blades on after. Okay, so right in here, like this. We've even got a snail in there. Isn't he? Love those cute little snails. Okay, so right in here, love it. Okay, got a little bit of water coming up in the back there. Okay, it'll look really nice once we get those grass in there later, like so. Okay. All right, so got a little bit of that water in there. Okay. And then we just need to add a couple little highlights to those because, again, I always sort of base coat with the shadow color and then I add highlights on top. So for the little water droplet, we've got, I'm just going to take a little bit of blue, okay, mostly white, so white with a little touch of blue, okay, and you can add a nice little highlight by kind of scribbling a little highlight on the top there, okay, right in here, and then maybe one opposite in this corner, okay, and then just even outline it with white to really make it pop. So cute. Okay, so there's our cute little, and then just add a little dash of white on those little water droplets, like so. Okay, love it. Snails are fun, aren't they, Kathy? They're so darn cute. Okay, so I'm just adding a couple little dashes right in here, like that. You can even use your lunar blender just with blue and white and add some nice little chisels right in here, like so, just to kind of give it a few little splashes. Okay, right in here. Okay, now there's our cute little duck. Okay, and I thought we'd work on I'd show you the tulip as well. Okay, touching up that tiny little smile, make him look extra darn cute there. Okay, so there's our cute little duck. Okay. And then we're gonna do that tulip. I love the tulip. It's so much fun to do. I've got that white base on there. Okay. And we're just going to add that. I absolutely love Tuscan red. So we've got Tuscan red. It's a deco art color. I use this a lot for pinks because I love how vibrant it is. When you add just a tiny little bit of white to it, you get this beautiful vibrant pink. That's what I used on the tulip. But again, feel free to change the color. So if you want a purple tulip or blue or whatever you want, definitely use that. Okay, but I'm going to use that red. Okay, and we're going to add color with the 1/4" lunar blender. And again, we're just going to, now where did my brush go? I always lose my brushes. How about you guys? They're here somewhere. Okay, where did I put it? I lost my little 1/4" lunar blender. Okay, so I'm going to use that anyway when I find it. Oh my goodness, totally lost it. That's so crazy. Oh, here it is. Okay, All right. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that'll be so cute on a pair of Crocs. I love that idea, Kathy. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, Vicky, you're gonna love the brushes. They're so much fun to use. Okay, so we're just gonna take with that tulip. Okay, so I thought I'd show you a couple more things here. So the tulip, again, I used Tuscan red and a little tiny touch of white. Okay, so right here, I've got that Tuscan red. Okay, I'm going to blend back and forth. So I wet the brush first, again, just to soften up the bristles. Tap off the excess water right here. Okay, and we're just going to take that Tuscan red and a little tiny touch of white. Okay, so not too much because it changes like instantly. With just the teeny tiniest little bit of white, you get a beautiful deep pink, and it's just my favorite color. Okay, so here's where it's just like fun. You just go right over top of the white and wow, like look at that pop of color. It's just amazing. Love it. Okay, small things they just, you know, get don't get out much. Love it. So much fun. Okay, right in here, Tuscan red, a tiny little bit of white, and it just makes this beautiful deep pink color. So I use that on the tulips. Okay, so I put the white underneath again just to make the color really pop. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take that little tiny lunar blender. So I'll use the little 1/8 inch just to make that little swirl at the top. Okay, so especially when we highlight in a sec. Okay, and I want to give that tulip a little bit more curve. Needs to be curvier. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of black and I'm going to curve that in there. There we go. It was bothering me. So if you find that you have a little something that's bothering you, or if you want more of like a separation, just take a little bit of black and you can kind of give it a bit of a curve there. Okay, so Tuscan red, a little tiny bit of white makes that nice deep pink like this. And I'm just going over top of that white that we did before. Okay, that was our base. Like so. Right in here. Nope, not the only one that loses brushes. I lose things all the time. Like so. It's funny how they're just right there. Can't see them. All right. So there's the base. You can see how it just comes to life when you add that pink. And then I thought it would be funny to have a frog in the tulip just waiting for a little raindrop. Okay, so right in here, got those nice little highlights like so. Okay, so this is with that pink. Again, you can see how it just comes to life right in here. Like so, and I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. Okay, so basically that was just with the Tuscan red and a little bit of white, and I base coated over top of the white base. Okay, so just rinse your brushes when you're all done. Okay, yes, he's having a bath. It's perfect. Okay, I want to show you those the tulip leaves as well. Okay, so the tulips, again, these are the couple of the greens that I have. Old bottles of paint here. They last for a long time. Okay, we've got a base of evergreen. Okay, now we've got mistletoe. So we've got a little bit of mistletoe, and was evergreen on the list? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So we've got evergreen, we've got mistletoe, and we also have margarita. Like what a fun name, right? Okay, so again, with all my projects, I always base coat with that shadow color, and then I add dry brush highlights on top. So and each color gets a little bit brighter, so it's fun. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit of the evergreen first. Okay, This is a kind of a fun and easy way to do leaves. I know some people have a little bit of trouble with leaves, but I'm going to show you this way, the way that I do them with the dry brushing. And I find that they're not too bad. Okay, so if you prefer though to shade, oops, if you prefer to shade, you can definitely do that. Okay, but here we go. I'm going to show you this leaf I'm using again. Imagine that. It's the 1/4 inch lunar blender. Okay, so I'm just taking, again, I wet it first. Make sure that you tap off all the excess water. Like that's the trick. Okay, if you leave water in there, it's gonna thin your paint. It won't cover quite as well, and you won't get any skipping. So it's definitely you want to do that. Okay. So, and if you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps. Or comment, even subscribe to my channel. I would love that. Thank you so much. Okay, and I'll post more videos. I'll try and get on that and add some more. Okay, let me know what you'd like to see and or even for new projects. Okay, but basically I'm taking that evergreen and it's really hard to see. You can hardly see it, but you do need it. You need that dark green base. It shows up not too bad. I'm not sure if it's showing up a whole bunch right on the camera, but you definitely need that dark color underneath. Okay, so right in here, like this, I'm just putting in that dark green, like so. Okay, so this is just with the evergreen. It's a great base for leaves. Okay, I actually want to do another peace pole. I did that one last or a couple years ago. I have videos on my YouTube channel actually for that one. I don't know if you remember it. It's Welcome to My Garden, and it has a butterfly and daisies and things like that. I always base coat. It's the leaves are the same on that. So I base coat kind of with that dark green, and you can see how I'm leaving the graphite line sort of showing a little bit in between that fold in the leaf. Okay, so that'll create a little bit of separation. So later on when I'm done, when you erase all those little graphite lines, you'll have that nice little separation in between those two sections. Okay, and a little bit more shadow and depth. So like so, right in here. And I'm using the chisel because sometimes I just am lazy and don't like to switch brushes. But I mean, you could always use your round brush or the little 1/8 inch lunar blender. Okay, like this. Okay, and you don't have to get too close to your duck. It's just let it kind of lift your brush and allow the paint to skip. So there's a little bit of black right beside the duck there. Okay, so right in here. And then, of course, right there. Okay, like so. Got a couple little dashes at the bottom here. Again, nothing too fancy. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do for that. And then we have to let that dry for a second. So we might as well put in the cute little frogs as well. So now the little frogs, I know I said a quick little demo, but what the heck? Let's do those frogs too. Okay, right in here, just gonna take that evergreen and I'm gonna base coat the little frog. So this time I'm gonna be careful not to go over the graphite lines too much. So I leave a little bit of shadow. Okay, so when those graphite lines get erased, I'm gonna have that nice little separation in between all those little sections. Okay, so you can see I'm using the little 1/8 inch lunar blender. Works great. You can use the chisel of the brush to paint in the little toes, okay, or the feet and the hands of the little frogs. I love frogs. They're just so cute. Okay, like this. He's peeking around, watching that little duck have some fun. Okay, right in here. And I guess the snail little body is we can paint that in with the green as well. Okay, and there's one more little frog up here. So again, he's taking a bath or doing whatever he's doing. Okay, like so. He's got that cute little smile and his tongue is sticking out. I remember doing that as a kid when it was raining. Okay, like so. There's his little feet. Okay, again with that dark green, like so. And then he's got his other hand just kind of resting on the top of the tulip there. Okay, so those are just with dark green I base coated like that, and they'll really come to life once we highlight. All right. Okay, like so. Okay, all right, so we've got those two things base coated in. We're gonna let that dry. We're gonna come back to our beautiful tulip. There's really not too much left to them. We just gotta add a couple little highlights, okay? So these highlights, just with that Tuscan red, are done with Tuscan red and more white. Okay, so whatever color that you have, whatever color that you base coated with. Okay, so if you did it purple, just use purple and white. Diox purple is a beautiful purple. It would make a great tulip. Okay, so pretty. Or there's purple pizzazz, which is actually on the pattern. Love this color. It's such a nice. I love all the bright colors. Basically, I have like primary colors in my patterns, just because I love they're bright and cheery. So okay, so basically just taking that Tuscan red and white, so using more white than the base. Okay, this time I really want you to get rid of almost all the color off your brush. Okay, so I'm just going to pendulum back and forth with that Tuscan red and the white. Might have to add more white. Okay, like this. Okay, so you're just going up and down like this, like a little pendulum. So it's kind of like a U stroke. You're taking basically your brush up off the surface, okay, like this in a U stroke, and you're hitting the surface in the middle of the stroke and then lifting. So that way you can't tell which side that you started your brush. Okay, so if you start on the surface, you'll get like this. Okay, if you start with your brush like right on the surface like this, you'll get a brush mark. But if you do it in a U stroke or a pendulum back and forth, see each side of the stroke is nice and soft. Okay, so it's hard to tell where you started or where you stopped. Okay, so we're just gonna do that little pendulum back and forth, nice and light. I'm resting my hand on my surface so that I have lots of control. Okay, and just highlighting the sections of the tulip. All right, so we've got that beautiful pink. Oh, I love it so much. So pretty. You gotta love what you paint, right? Gets you into that. Okay, right in here, the background, and then we've got that nice little curve. So the petal is folded over where the frog's sitting kind of on it. Okay, and then right in here, we're gonna highlight the edge of this little petal right there. Okay, so that was with right in here. You know what? I've always loved to dry brush. I started out a long time ago painting, and I did a lot of floating. And Maxine Thomas has she always says we're kind of a melting pot of lots of different artists. I used to paint and I learned a lot of things from a lot of different people. So, and I think you just find your own style and you incorporate things from a lot of stuff from what you've learned from others. So, this is kind of I've always loved to dry brush though. It's just definitely my thing. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm just getting a little bit more whimsical and loose with my stroke. I'm using more white. Okay, so just really nice and light, just adding in that nice little highlight. So I'm just don't think too much. I find when you do those strokes a little bit quicker, You can just kind of dash it on. Now, and a lot of times too, when I'm doing this pink, I'll add some, you can see it's a little warmer on here, and yellow is such a nice warm color. So if you add yellow, like even just a teeny tiny little bit of cad yellow and maybe some white, you get kind of like a peachy color. But if you add that in there, it just warms it up so nice. I don't know if you can see it really well, but it's just so darn pretty and gives you such a nice, warm, soft feeling. Okay, so right in here, and you can add that again in all the highlight spots. Okay, right in here. You can even add a little swirl on the bottom if you want. What the heck? You know me and swirls. I love them. I gotta add them in every project. Can't help myself. Okay, so right in here, again, I'm just lots of things take quite a few layers, but I find, once you get that base in and you just each layer takes a little bit less time because you're covering a smaller area, it doesn't, it's not too time consuming. Okay, so, and the more that you do this, the faster it gets. I know everybody says I'm such a fast painter, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, and don't think too much. Just let the colors flow. Okay, and every time you do it, it turns out a little different. Okay, so even when I do that, okay, so I'm just going to use that yellow and a little bit of white just to give it a nice little accent. Okay, right in here. This is more of a dry brush, so I don't have any water in my brush. Okay, and I get rid of almost all the paint off my brush. Okay, so it really skips on the surface. I'm just going to add that swirl in there. What the heck? Love it. Okay. Don't be afraid to go off the edge too. It's all good. Every once in a while, we need to just go right off the edge. Okay, so like so. Okay, it's perking up. Okay, now sometimes, sometimes the color gets a little bit chalky. So you can always go back with even just like a little bit of Tuscan red. Okay, and you can sort of add a little bit in the shadow areas, so it's kind of like a little bit of a glaze almost. And this is with the Tuscan red. Okay, like this. I'm just taking a little bit. You can throw a little bit in here and there, but I find that, okay, so this has a little tiny bit of water in it. My brush, it's kind of like a glaze of color, so it's very transparent, but it gives you such a nice deep, deep shadow. Deep contrast, love it. Okay, so you can play with it as much as you want. You can come back and add more color if you like. Okay, you can see on my piece, I also used a chalk pencil. So I use the General's chalk pencils. I love them. I'll show you that in a little bit when I find it. Okay, but so fun. Okay, so right in here, got that like here. So it just makes it a little bit deeper, that shadow color. Okay, and if you find that you really lost your separation, you can always come back and just kind of dry brush a tiny little bit of black in there, but you have to be really careful that it doesn't get too stark or too strong. Okay, so fun stuff. Now, just I'll show you what I mean by that chalk pencil. Let's see where it went. Okay, so these are the okay, so the General's pastel chalk pencil. You could also even use a pencil, a pencil crayon, okay, and then it won't smear. But I love these. If you usually I do this right at the end though. I add all the little chalk kind of outlines and accents. But I'll just show you what I mean by here. But I always wet the chalk pencil first, makes it a little bit more vibrant. And you know, you can accent and just add even a few little dashes of chalk pencil really brings it to life. Like it's and accents those little swirls. So maybe if you lost your little swirl, you can use a chalk pencil after and just like, you know, accent those little highlights by just a few little scribbles. Isn't it fun? So you can really have some fun with these like that. Okay, but that's what I mean by chalk pencil. Okay, so we've got now we've got those leaves. I promised that I would show you the highlights on those. Okay, so again, I'm just using that lunar blender. Okay, I wet the brush first, tap off the excess water. Okay, and again, the lunar blender, if you don't have them, it's basically soft hair mixed with a bristle hair. So they have a really nice spring. Okay, I find that they even work better though when you wet them. So I wet them first, and that just softens up those little bristles. Okay, so again, oops, we're just going to use that. Okay, that brush. Okay, right in here, and we're just going to take that little bit of mistletoe. Love that color. So pretty. Okay, so again, I'm just taking the mistletoe, which is that nice bright green, like that. Okay, and yes, you can actually find those chalk pencils at Michael's. Michael's carries them. Um, okay, so see how I'm taking that? I got rid of all the excess water there. Okay, and I'm just kind of dry brushing right along the front of those petals. Okay, sort of the edge. Okay, so you can see how you get rid of the excess paint by blending back and forth. Okay, and then I'm just going to really loosely, so the paint sort of skips. You can see how dry it looks. Like it's a fun little technique. Just allow the paint to skip. You're giving it that nice little highlight. Okay, right down the center as well. So this color is going to cover the most, and then each highlight after this is going to cover less and less. So you have a nice gradual color change. So you can see I'm leaving a little bit of color or the darkness in between those two sections. Okay, so we base coated with that evergreen, and now I'm highlighting with the mistletoe. Okay, and again, you can see they sort of go through an ugly stage. Don't worry, they get better. Okay, so we're going through like this. Okay, like so. So I'm really almost kind of, you know, really filling in like this right along the edge, and then I'm dry brushing backwards like this, away from that edge. So you get that nice soft edge. Okay, does that make sense? Like that. So I'm pressing on the brush a little harder and then lighten up on my pressure so the paint skips as you move away from that bright edge. Okay, so and you're covering quite a bit. This is about 3/4 about of that. Okay, and just a little bit at the bottom. Okay, so just adding a little bit of highlight there with that green. Okay, love it. I'm glad. Yes, please comment. Okay, and like if you wouldn't mind liking the video too, if you're enjoying it, or if you have some suggestions for me, I'm definitely open. So if there's something I can change, okay, right in here. Okay, so this is the highlight with mistletoe green. Okay, you can see how it's already coming to life. I absolutely love doing leaves like this. Okay, and then we're going to use that little 1/8" lunar blender. Okay, right in here. Oh, thanks, Debbie. I love doing it. I love painting. It's just so much fun. Okay, so right in here, I'm doing that. I'm going to highlight the little frog right here. Okay, so just starting right on his little nose. Okay, sweeping around and leaving that little smile line. Okay, so that's going to be nice and dark when I erase those, highlighting around the eyes. Okay, this is just with the mistletoe. Okay, blend back and forth to get rid of the excess right here, like this. And then we've got those cute little fingers, or I don't know, what do you call them? I don't know all the parts to a frog. Okay, but his little fingers right here are wrapped around that cute little leaf. Okay, he's checking out the little duck and then highlighting his little feet there. Okay, but you can see I left a little bit of separation in between those sections. Okay, so like that. Yes, I love dipping the chalk pencil in the water. It just makes it so much more vibrant and the lovely little accents. So much fun. And you can use different colors. So if you wanted to use different colored chalk pencils. Okay, so we've got this other little frog right at the top here as well. Okay, so right in here, love it. He's got his eyes closed because he's catching the raindrop. Okay, right underneath. Okay, his little belly here, and then of course his cute little toes and feet are just hanging out here. Okay, like so. So there's our little frog. So cute. Okay. Okay, so there's our little base. Again, you can see I kind of left the graphite line showing in between the sections. So when I erase those, we're going to be left with that black background color. And it's really going to give it a nice separation in between all those little sections. Okay, so next color, moving on. I'm not going to rinse my brush unless your brush gets really gummy and kind of dry. Definitely rinse it out and then start again, but mine are okay. So I'm just going to take that margarita. I'm going to have a margarita. I always said I want to name one of the decor colors. I think that would be a fun job, right? Okay, so I'm just taking the margarita and I'm highlighting the very edge. So, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll dip the corner of my brush and then blend. So almost kind of like a float, but a dry brush. Okay, and just using the kind of the corner of my brush to highlight that. So I've got my brush a little bit on an angle when I do that. But doesn't it make it pop? Like it just pops. And like I love the contrast with the darkness and that very light. So it does actually look like the petal is folded, I think. So right in here. So just another little dry brush right in here, just to highlight that edge. Okay, you might want to turn your piece around just to make it a little easier. Sometimes I flip it. Those little turntables actually work kind of nice, especially when you're working on bigger pieces. Like this one's not big, but if you're working on a stepping stone or something, a turntable is definitely really handy. Okay, so right in here, you can see how I'm highlighting the edge there just with the dry brush. Kind of brings it to life, doesn't it? Okay, like so. And a little bit down here, not too much. The highlights up here. Okay, and then I'm going to add one more layer just to make it really nice and bright. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush out because it was kind of drying a little bit. Okay, right here. Okay, so just taking that little bit of, I've got a little bit of mistletoe and some margarita I'm using. Okay, so margarita back and forth. And now I'm gonna do the same thing on those little frogs. So, okay, maybe just a little extra bit of mistletoe right in here. Give them a little highlight like so. Okay, like this, and then a little bit on those cute little toes there that are sticking up. And you might want to use your round brush just to like really make that those edges a little bit stronger like this. Okay, so I'm just kind of using the chisel for now. Okay, and then we've got that little arm right here. Okay, like so. Okay, right in here. So yes, the chalk pencil will smear if you use the brush on varnish at the end. So I always like to use a spray, and you can just go outside or your garage or anywhere that you can, just to give it a light spray to fix the chalk so it doesn't smear. I I've never been really good at doing the brush on varnish. I don't know why, but I'm cursed. I can every time I something happens, so I always spray my pieces. Miss this little guy's leg. Okay, so and a lot of times I have texture on my pieces too, so I find that the spray just works better for my designs. They don't it doesn't pool in the texture, so but yeah. So I always use a spray on. And decor has like spray varnishes too. And I always love to use like the satin varnish. It works really nice because I love the um, a little bit of shine, so it really makes the colors come out. Like it just makes them pop, come to life. Okay, even more than they do already. Okay, so you can see I'm just using my little 1/8" lunar blender just to add a few little extra little pops there on the edges. And then you can still see that mistletoe, remember, that we did? So each color covers a smaller area. So you have a nice gradual color change from light to dark, nice and soft. Okay, nice bright areas and nice deep dark shadow areas. Okay, really makes those designs come to life. Okay, so on this guy, he's really chubby. Okay, cute little chubby frog. Um, so you can see I'm really adding a lot of the margarita, but I'm still allowing some of that mistletoe to show up as our base there. Okay, like so. All right. Okay. Yes, there is. I missed this. Thank you for pointing that out, Sue. There is a little piece of leaf right here. Man, I always miss something. Okay, so right here. One time on a design, I actually spelled something wrong. Always something. Okay. Oh well, our imperfections. Everybody has them. Okay, so right in here, I'm just gonna throw a little leaf in there. Thank you, Sue, for seeing that. I totally missed it. Okay, but yes, there's a little leaf in there, and I just used a little bit of mistletoe to kind of poke in a little bit of color. Okay, so and if you see something else I missed, please let me know. Okay, so this one, I use the 1/8" lunar blender on those little frogs. Works perfect. Okay, it's a nice small brush. Again, with the lunar blenders, because you are dry brushing with them constantly, and it is kind of hard on the brush. They don't last forever, unfortunately. But they're a pretty great price. So usually you can get away with getting a couple. Okay, so that's with that. I'm even gonna do one more little step. So with that margarita and maybe some cad yellow, you can do that final little highlight on the frogs. So margarita, little tiny touch of cad yellow gives that one last little pop. Okay, so always need that last little sparkle. And of course they have little warts, so we got to put those on. Okay, so this is with margarita and some cad yellow. Okay, right in here. Okay, like that. What the heck? I'll put a couple little dashes like right along the edge in the center of that stem. Okay, like here. Maybe just a little dash in that little spot right there. Okay. Too fun. Okay, so we've got those little spots to do on the little frogs. Okay, so those you can see on here, they have little warts, I call them, I guess. Okay, and those are just with the lighter. So use cad yellow and a little touch of margarita, and you can put on a few little dots here and there. Just, I don't know, it just adds and makes them look so cute. Okay, so you can put a couple of those on. Now, right in here, okay, like so, and some on his little tummy there. What the heck? Okay, just little circles, and I'm using my round brush to do that. So if you have a round, that's great. Okay, so margarita and some yellow, cad yellow. Put on a few little dots. Okay, and then you can use a little tiny touch of watermelon slice to paint in his little tongue. Okay, oh, yeah, maybe got a little bit bigger than right in here. A little white highlight. Okay. So, and then just add some eyes. So use your little liner brush with some black, and you can paint in his little eyes. With the black. Okay. I don't know, maybe not the eyelash. I don't think the frogs need eyelashes. Just a little black dot. And then, of course, paint in his cute little smile with black just to really bring that out. Okay. Like so. It's our cute little frog. So fun. Okay, and then this guy's got he's just got like his eyes closed. So, all right. Okay, and then of course a little highlight dot. Okay, in the little eyes to bring them to life. Okay, like so. Darn cute. Love those little frogs. Okay. Okay, you could even add a little cheek color to this little frog if you wanted to. Ouch. Right here. Okay. If you wanted to add a little bit, you could with just a little bit of watermelon slice. So this guy doesn't have any, but what the heck? You could add a little bit of cheek color. What frogs have rosy cheeks, right? In some worlds. Okay. I'm gonna add some to this guy. He needs some. All right. So cute. All right. Okay, so we've got, oh, and I forgot just a few little blades, I can't speak, of grass at the bottom. So you can use the mistletoe, and lots of times I just use my little lunar blender and just pull up from the ground like this. And I'm just using mistletoe because it's a little lighter. And then I'll add some margarita. Okay, you can tell everyone you had some margaritas this afternoon. Okay, like so. Right in here. Okay, so this is just with that margarita or mistletoe. Real quick, just add a few little dashes in along the bottom so he has something to stand on. Need that ground in there. Okay, right in here. Now, the lettering actually has like highlights. I painted them on, and then I used the chalk pencil to add little accents. So I can give you a little taste of that. Okay, so right in here. Thanks for sticking with me today. I know we were just gonna do a little quick demo of the duck, but what the heck? Let's just do. I got to show you the clouds because they're so much fun. They are just kind of swirls of blue and gray. And I absolutely, if you've done any of my pieces, I absolutely love swirls. I do them on everything. They're just a lot of fun and so whimsical. Okay, so and then I'm just going to take a little bit of margarita, okay, and just add some margarita. What the heck here? We've got that, like so. Okay, right here. Okay, so I just added a few little dashes of highlight, okay, and I even accented those with the pencils, okay, so the chalk pencil after, okay, but I got to show you the clouds there, and I'll show you a little bit on the lettering too, but the clouds are done with, oh no, it's okay, Chris, I'll go over that again with the chalk pencil, but with the clouds, what I did was I used a little bit of white. I'm gonna grab some new white. This is pretty dirty, but okay, so I've got a little bit of white and let me see if I can squeeze over here. Okay, so grab a new paper towel. But okay, so I've got a little bit of white and I'm using my little 1/8" lunar blender just because you can really get a nice swirl with the smaller brush. Okay, so especially for these little clouds, you could maybe do the base a little bit with the 1/4", but so I used white and black and a little bit of blue. Okay, so right in here, I've got true blue and a little bit of black. Gives you this nice sort of stormy gray color. And decor probably has a color that's close to that, but why not? We'll just use okay, so Kathy, I got to show you this. Okay, so with the clouds, these again, I always use the background color to my advantage. Okay, so we're going to leave a little bit of black showing in between those little swirls, and they're just going to come to life, I promise. Okay, so just using the blue, a little bit of white, and some black. Okay, it makes like a dark gray, almost like a uniform blue color. If you wanted to, if you don't like to mix, you could maybe use. Let me see here. Uniform blue might be close. Of course, I can't find it right now. Wedgwood blue, maybe with a little bit of black, but something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. But so I hold my brush right here on the ferrule. Again, rest your hand and you're gonna do a little swirl. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You want it to be light and airy, but see how much the paint skips? And it's just fun, like fun, fun. Okay, so you can do, these are very whimsical, swirly clouds. They're not like a typical, you know, cloud that you might see, but I think they're so much fun and they really add a lot of texture and dimension. But this is, I call this the practice layer. Yes, so Williamsburg blue might work. Okay, try those. Any of those kind of grayish blue colors. Sounds good. Okay, but this is kind of our little practice layer. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm holding my brush almost straight up and down. Okay, like this, right in here. Okay, get rid of the excess. I don't have any water in my brush, so the color is really skipping. But see how I'm rolling around, brushes straight up and down like this. Okay, you can see right here. So this is what it looks like. I'm just rolling like that. Okay, adding another like this. Okay, but you can see I'm holding the brush straight up and down, which makes it a lot easier. Okay, so, and I'm using my whole arm instead of just with my hand like that. See how I'm using my whole arm to do those swirls. Okay, it makes it a lot easier. And then once you've got that base in there, you just highlight. So you add, okay, like more little whimsical strokes. Okay. You can use your wrist a little bit here just to really bring them out. But aren't they? They're just fun. Try a couple. Even if you wanted to just try it on a practice piece first, if you wanted. I mean, if you mess up a little bit, you could always take black and just sort of add a little bit over. Okay, try it again. Okay, and then I just keep adding more weight. So I really just add more weight, bring it to life, pop those little bit of color, but makes nice and whimsical. Okay, so yes, French gray blue would work. That's a really pretty color. But you can see that's all there is to the cloud. And then at the end, I do all the chalk pencil, but I wet it first. Okay, tap off the excess. And then this is where you can take your chalk pencil and add some nice little scribbles. So, just kind of add some nice little accents. Love it. Lots of fun. Okay, and then of course you're gonna spray varnish over top so that you don't smear the chalk pencil. But again, all the clouds are done the same. So true blue, a little bit of black. Okay, and it's kind of, I know people sometimes are a little worried about mixing colors, but the every time that you do it, there's a little bit of variation, which is nice in your project. Okay, so some clouds are a little darker, or some clouds are maybe a little bit more blue, but it really gives it a nice. So this one's more blue. It adds to your piece, I think. So don't be afraid to try and mix. Okay, like this. Right in here, we've got some nice little swirls in there. Okay. And then basically you just add more weight. So do it all again. Add some more little swirls. They don't have to be perfect, just very loose and airy. Okay. Really pull them together. Okay. So lots of fun. Blue, touch of black, a little bit of white. Okay, that's your base. You're gonna do some little crescents, little swirls here and there. Okay, I made sure to put a little sunshine or a sun up here. Okay, I needed a little sun there's always some kind of sun peeking through. Okay, like so. I don't know, just have fun. You can put your clouds wherever you want. Okay, and they always turn out a little bit, they're always different, always unique. That's what makes painting great. Okay, like so. Right in here. I don't think that when you dip your chalk pencil in, I don't think it makes it more smooth. I just think it makes the color a little bit more vibrant. Okay, like this. You can even leave your clouds a little darker and just add some little swirls with your chalk pencil. It's still got lots of texture with that. So I love it. It's a fun little thing. Okay, so and then you're just gonna highlight those clouds with some white or whiten your brush, I should say. Okay, so I don't rinse my brush, I just add some white, add some nice little. Okay, so all the clouds are done the same. And then, of course, I've got the lettering. And I know you could use the chalk pencil just for these letters, but I like them just a little bit brighter. So I even take my liner brush and I paint them in with white. So okay, one couple little tips before I go for the lettering is that whenever you're doing lettering, always try and pull your brush. Okay, so I'm using white. Okay, and make sure that there's no extra water in your brush. And basically, you're going to start always at the top and pull towards yourself. So each letter will take quite a few strokes, it's just not one continuous, like even those little swirls. See how I brought this down and then I'm going to start at the top and pull down towards myself. Okay, rest your hand as much as you can so you have lots of control over your brush. Okay, and if you don't want to do the lettering, you can use the chalk pencil and just spray varnish. So, and that'll give it a really nice look as well. Okay, so if you don't want to do the line work with your brush, okay, I just find it gives it a little bit more of a pop, makes it a little bit more brighter, more bright. Okay, and then this one, these letters that are a little bit bigger, okay, this one actually needs a coat of white because I used yellow. So I'm even just going to use my lunar blender real quick. You could use a flat brush. Okay, like so. It's just so that that yellow really pops. Okay, so it's kind of like a primer. It's going to make that yellow color on top really nice and vibrant. Okay, so make sure that you give that a coat, but you can see I always try and start at the top, pull down. Okay, like this. So each letter takes a couple strokes. Okay, right in here, like this. Okay, and then rainy day. It's actually with gray. So I used again the blue and some white, so you get that kind of lighter gray color. And it skipped a little bit. So this is what I'm using my little 1/8" lunar blender to paint this in. Okay, so it's just kind of like a light gray. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a few little accents after. It's nice and dry. Okay, so the main parts of the letter I'm going to try and do with my little lunar blender. I know it gets a little small, so you can switch to your round brush. Okay, whatever you'd like to use. But this kind of floats into the clouds, so it sort of fades in there with that Y. Okay, and again, because I didn't color mix, or I didn't really mix the paint, I'll get some variation. So, okay, and this one is the darker gray, so just more black. Okay, and then you're going to go back and just add some little highlights. So much fun. Okay, doesn't have to be exactly perfect because after I took my chalk pencil and I just added some little dashes. Okay, so I call them scribbles, accents, whatever you want to call them. Okay, like so. Okay, right in here. Okay, and then you can just sort of add a few little highlights with that lighter gray color, like this. Okay, so with the white and just adding a few little highlights, little swirls here and there. Okay, so it takes a couple layers to do this lettering anyway, the rainy day part. And then of course you can use different colors for like the plays with the pink. You can use, a lot of times I'll use like a 2 round or a 3 or whatever you've got. Okay, but you can use the Tuscan red to make that pink. It looks so pretty, and boy, doesn't it pop. Love it. Okay, and then you can come back and add some little highlights. Okay, lots of fun. Okay, right in here. So adding some Tuscan red, a little bit of white. Okay, right in here, like so. So again, with each little letter, it takes a few strokes because you're always trying to pull towards yourself. Try not to push up with your brush. Always pull down. Okay, rest your hand as much as you can so you have lots of control. Okay, And then you can add a few little highlights with more white when it's dry. Okay, like so. Thank you so much. Okay, right in here. You can even add few more little accents outside the lines. Okay, don't be afraid to like paint outside the lines. Okay, makes it look like it's kind of, moving, got a little bit of texture. Okay, and then Puddles is just with the true blue and some white. Okay, and again, like feel free to change anything. If you want to change the thing or the colors or anything like that. One little thing I was going to show you, I don't know if you've used the liquid glass, but on another project, I actually used liquid glass for the raindrops, and boy, was it cute. It just made them sparkle and gave them a little bit of texture. So I want to show you that. Okay, like so. Just finish off this little Puddles lettering here. Okay, like so. And I forgot to do that little snail. It's just waiting to get painted. Okay, like this, and then more white. Okay, so okay, just I always like base coat usually with the darker color and then just add some white to highlight. So sometimes it's a little brighter than others. Okay, like this. And then of course the yellow. So the sun actually needs a nice little bit of white underneath. Okay. Like so. It's coming to life. Okay. Um, and then I'm gonna use my little 1/8 inch. Oh, I'm so glad, Gail. Thank you so much for coming and joining me to paint today. I'm glad you found it helpful. Happy to share. Okay, so this is just with that cad yellow. Like, what a really nice bright color. Love the contrast with the background black. Okay, so right in here, like so. And then basically just, I pulled up a little bit of orange from the bottom to give it a little bit of a shadow and some warmth, a little bit more warmth. The orange is such a pretty color. Okay, kind of ties it or balances it with the duck. So like that. Okay, and I'll just add some little chalk lines after, but you can take a little bit of that bright orange and just pull it up from the bottom and see how pretty it looks. It just gives it a nice little shadow um, right in here. Okay, like so. And then once that's dry, just add a little bit of yellow and some white at the top there, just pulling down from the top. Okay, so right here. That's not quite dry though, so it's not really showing up, but it would really pop if it was like nice and dry. Okay, so there's a couple other letters. I just did them with the chalk pencil, or you can use your liner brush with some white. Okay, and then I wanted to show you so if you wanted to do those little raindrops, okay, there's really nothing to that little snail too. It's just with some purple. And I took a little bit of purple pizzazz, if it'll come out of the bottle. Okay. Sometimes they get clogged because I don't shut or close the lids very good. Okay, so there's my little purple pizzazz. If you wanted to paint your little snail, I just got that little swirl in there. So it's nothing fancy. Right in here. Okay, we don't have pretty colored snails here. But when I was in BC, it seemed like they had these really pretty ones, different colors. Okay, and they were so cute. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that mistletoe and some just to paint that little snail in. Okay, so nothing fancy. It's just a lighter color with the little swirls. Okay, and then those raindrops, if you want to add, just for a nice little touch, you could add the liquid glass. So there's my little, there's my little snail. Okay, like so. Anyway, I'll fix him up in a sec. But the little the little raindrops, so if you took blue and a little touch of white and just paint the little raindrops at a little bit of an angle like this, so it's like a little comma stroke. They don't have to be perfect, and you can put them wherever you want. But they're just with blue, and then you can even go back with a little touch of white and just give them a little highlight. Okay, but there's of course has to be a few little raindrops since it's a rainy day. Don't forget the little one that the frog's waiting for. Okay, but there's this product called liquid glass. It's so fun. So Decor Media makes this, and I find that the little end kind of gets clogged sometimes. So what I do is I take my stylus and I just poke it in there and rinse it out in the tap. But it's like a dimensional, crystal clear, flexible, non-tacky. It gives it a nice little clear texture. So what you do is you just take and I broke the top here, so I'll see if I can fix it. But you just press on it and lift, and it gives it a nice little texture. So this, I broke the top on this one, so it's not really, there we go. Not really working the way it's supposed to. Okay, all right. So if you just add a little dash to some of them, okay, I'm gonna fix this one. But there we go. And then while it's still wet, of course, I have glitter. But you could take a little tiny bit of glitter and just sprinkle it on so that it sticks to the liquid glass. And all the little raindrops will have a little bit of texture and they'll be sparkly. And how fun is that, right? Because it's just so darn cute. And then you can even, or if you don't like sprinkle glitter, you could use, this is my favorite. It's Galaxy Glitter, and it's clear. So it's called Clear Ice Comet. You can use it on any color. So just give it a shake. But it picks up any color. It's iridescent. So I often use this one on like a variety of things because it's just so darn cute. But I mean, you could put this on the little duck's cheeks, make them sparkle. Like how fun is that? You could even put it on the water at the bottom. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could paint it over top the little raindrops. Okay, if you don't have the liquid glass. I love it. It's just, you got to have it. It's one of those things. Just need it. Okay, right here. So, like this. Okay, right in here. And again, if you want to order products from Decor, I have a little link that's special for me. So if you need something, you can order through that, and um, that would be great. But okay, and then basically once you're done, you can just add your more little chalk pencil, your little accents here and there. Again, I wet the brush or I wet the chalk pencil just to give it a little bit more vibrant color. Okay, like this, and you can add little swirls, kind of accent the lettering here and there. It's a lot of fun. So yes, and you gotta have the bling. So I'm not sure if I missed anything, but if you have any questions, let me know. And I sure appreciate you watching today. I hope you had fun and maybe learned something a little different, okay, with the dry brushing and the lunar blenders. But yes, thank you for tuning in. So if you like the video, please like, and I would love it if you subscribed. I'll have more videos coming soon and some more new projects coming out. So thank you so much. Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Debbie. Okay, have a great weekend. Thanks, guys. Bye now. Take care.